All right. Today we have members of the band Work Party from Chicago with us here. Thanks for joining us, guys. Why don't you introduce yourselves? Let us know what you do in the band, and then let us know who wasn't able to make it here today.
I'll start. I'm Tristan. I'm the vocalist. And then Justin, who's also my brother. He's the bass player, not here. And then Brandon, drummer, also not here.
I'm Grant. I play guitar and I'm here.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. About a week and a half ago, you released your second full length?
First.
Was Regrets was not or
no, Regrets was War Brides.
Oh, okay. Oh, so is it so I guess that too. So but your new album is titled My Best Days Are Behind Me. It's out on Triple I Industries. So yes. Is Work Party a new band, or did you guys just have a name change?
Both.
Both? Okay.
Yeah.
Where's the line?
It's War Brides with a new drummer, but
the music's different.
Yeah, the music's different. I guess Grant could speak to the technicality or changes in that, as far as the music.
I mean, we were so much more like War Brides was so much more of like a real heavy, noisy, like really, really heavy, noisy band. It's like we with lots of mathy sort of influences, and Work Party, for lack of a better way of putting it, is more of like a hardcore punk kind of thing. Like we've really kind of dropped a lot of the complexities of it and said we just want to dumb this down and play caveman stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's definitely to that end. Yeah, it's like definitely more like stuff you can like wave your fist at more than. I mean, War Brides is rad, but it just different approaches for sure.
Right.
Yeah, we kept them both with a W so that we could accidentally screw that up all the time.
Yeah, so it confused the hell out of people. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, beyond that, like, I mean, Tristan has like a completely different vocal style in this band than he had before. So like, like you sound like you don't even sound like the same guy in this band anymore.
I think there were shades of that in Regrets, but yeah, there's definitely I hate metamorphosis is like the worst word ever, but yeah, a change that a progression.
There you
go. Yeah, definitely a progression. We first started War Brides, man, it was very, very abrasive. I mean, musically and vocally, a lot of throat screaming. Our early stuff.
That was 12 years ago when we started doing more.
Lots of throat screaming and lots of like very deep subject matter and angsty stuff, and yeah, pretty much changed all that up vocally for sure and lyrically.
Yeah, and I think maybe this, as you mentioned, going with a more maybe stripped down rather than saying simplistic style. I think also sort of let some of the riffs come out a little bit more. So this record maybe a little bit more catchy, or riff driven. I think some of the songs tend to kind of catch in your mind a little bit more than perhaps some of the War Brides stuff.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, the old stuff was a little more like, it's way more chaotic. It was, like a lot of times, like digging into a riff was something we didn't do so much, and now we're kind of sitting into it a little bit more.
So okay. So what was the catalyst to make this move? Was it changing drummers, or was it just a kind of you were ready to do something a little bit different as a group?
I think it was kind of both.
Okay.
Kind of both, really. Yeah, our Richie, the drummer in War Brides, he moved to Nashville. Geez, I don't even know anymore. I mean, it
was like 6 or 7 years ago or something like
Did
that. I don't know. I don't even remember.
Anyway, yeah. So we kept War Brides. The four of us kept War Brides afloat. Richie would come back every so many months, and we'd have just cram session practices, writing sessions, all that kind of stuff. As shows,
and we did the tours, and we did the tours too.
Yeah. I did a couple couple week tours, but so Richie would come back, we made it work, and then it just after a while it just didn't feel the same. It just didn't feel like a big chunk of the reason we're all in this is because we enjoy hanging out. We enjoy writing together, drinking together, hanging out together, and it just wasn't the same. So we just decided to move on and start a new band. And our current drummer, Brandon, he actually filled in for Richie a time or three.
Okay.
For some Chicago shows that Richie couldn't make it to, come up from Nashville. Obviously, it wasn't always convenient. Needless to say. And so Brandon filled in, 2, 3, 4 times. I don't remember. And so we approached him once we decided, to end things with War Brides and start a new band. We approaching Brandon seemed like the natural thing to do. Initially he said no too, because his work schedule, he said no. Yeah. Cause he had he had a new job. He's about to get a new job. He's a physician's assistant. And, his work schedule, especially then, was pretty chaotic. So he initially told us no. We were like, damn. But long story short, it worked out.
Yeah. So. Some stuff kind of lined up. So like it's kind of the way things were working. He was also in this band from around here called Snow Burial. And like they kind of went through some like changes and stuff. Like as they had some personnel changes, and some people moved. And I think they just all of it kind of just kind of dissipated at the end. So like through all that, he ended up just doing more of us. And so it stuck around. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just kind of. Yeah, he was doing that and his band with that ex-member, Andrew, the ex guy from Snow Burial. So it's like he had like multiple things going on, because what drummer doesn't have like 3 bands?
Right.
So, but so now so now he has less going on, and we have a little bit more time for him. So it works out.
Yeah. So, and one of the things I was noticing in this, and it just, again, may be a little bit of the change in the singing, the vocal stylings and the vocals being a little bit more, easier to understand and follow along as you're just kind of casually listening. A lot of these songs are kind of about, I want to say, failure. How did you go about writing, coming up with the topics? I hope they're not all personal.
No. Actually, I was thinking about this. I was like, I'm going to grab the record, just kind of like look at some of the songs. Like
who can't deal with failure, just being a human being.
Yeah, no. So like, a lot of them are like half truths, really, and then I kind of embellish on them.
Okay.
Like like "Stay Out of the Woods." That's the last song. It's about like going for a walk, right? And enjoying walks in the fall in a beautiful, serene setting and all that, which is something I do. I kind of live out in the country a bit, about like 60 miles west of the city. So but then that story then kind of escalates into this, like, coming upon some, ruckus teens that decide to give me a beat down, for lack of a better. So that
wasn't that song. That was NFS. I mean, NFG.
No. Well, yeah, it actually happens in NFG too.
Yeah, you get the crap beaten out of you by a bunch of kids all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess it just, it maybe the word is like humility.
Okay.
Hubris.
I think, at least, for me personally, I've definitely learned a lot of humility as I've gotten older and realized how much I don't really matter. And I don't mean that like, oh man, what a bummer. but just like, I don't know, if you really break it down, it's like, I'm just some dude, and, cause I don't know, I can't speak for Grant or the rest of the band, but I know like when I was like in my, late teens, 20s, I had a little chip on my shoulder,
Okay.
Thought I was kind of rad. And, not that I like lack confidence or anything, but just whatever, just a dude, and that's really, I think what a lot of this touches on is just being like, just a dude. And that's where a lot of the song, at least lyrically, started.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of them kind of devolved into this weird, like Drunk Conference Call is about that. It's like a weekday, work day bender, and then by the end of it, I run into my wife with somebody from the neighborhood that she's palling around with, at a bar. That never happened, but yeah. So
it's not unrealistic though.
Huh? Wow.
It's not unrealistic.
What, my wife cheating on me with some?
No. I thought, I never even thought that from the song. I thought it was just like she's hanging out with a friend of yours. It's like, it's not like you guys can't have like friends at a bar.
Yeah, I guess the way I, lyrically, it's like, arm in arm. That's how the song ends. Like arm in arm with our neighbor Paul. So you're just like,
oh, I never even picked that up.
What do I write these lyrics for?
I don't know. You don't write them until we start recording. So how the hell am I supposed to know them?
Do that.
So, were you able to work on? Were you guys able to get together throughout the pandemic? So you're releasing this hopefully at what we look back as being the end of the pandemic. Were these songs all written during the pandemic then as well, or are they older than that?
Before,
Okay.
Old. We've been sitting on this record like basically since March of 2020.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah,
we literally, the way that it worked out, we went in the studio, and the next week, Chicago shut down.
Oh, okay.
Like it was crazy. It was like
literally
wow.
the week before. Literally the week before we got the recording done, and then everything, at least in Chicago, Illinois, everything shut down then the next week.
Yeah.
So
it was surreal.
Yeah, I imagine it had to be really tough just to have this basically in the can and just not be able to do anything with it.
Yeah.
You feel like you can't do anything with it.
Yep.
We weren't really sure what to do with it. That was
Right.
it's like, is this a good idea to put this out right now? Should we wait? Should we not wait? And finally we just said, we picked a date and we're just like, let's roll with it. So, and still, whether it was the right time or not, we have no idea.
Right.
Yeah, the market's hot right now, if you tell me.
Were you planning to release this on Triple I Industries the entire time? Were you guys in line with them to put out the record the entire time?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was just whenever that was going to happen. Like nobody was going to ask us like, when are you putting it out? And we're like, I don't know, man. Sometime, I guess. Like we were sitting there with like a done record, and we just were like, sure. And then I don't think we did. Like, I mean, we waited till probably summertime to like even mix, and we were doing all that. Like, so we did like mixing. Like, we had to go into studio and stuff like that. So we're just like all sitting around at Greg's and just taking care of that. And it was weird and surreal because before vaccinations and everything were things, we're just like sitting there with like masks on and being like, no idea what we're doing here. We're like, we didn't know we were going to put it out after that.
Yeah, so that was summer 2020, right? We mixed it.
Was it?
Greg's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Greg engineered it, electrical audio, Greg Norman. So yeah, then we mixed it he's got a mixing set up at his house, and we mixed there. Yeah, that was like late summer 2020 when things kind of sort of, right, Grant, I think?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that was over a year ago.
Yeah, just like these,
and then we pretty much were waiting for like things to kind of like turn around with, I mean, not that ever, I don't know how many times I'm tired of like talking about past year and the pandemic and everything. And I'm sure it's everybody's going to be talking about it forever, but it's a thing. Is, you know, when we were done, we were like, still, what are we going to do? Like, we got it mixed and mastered. We were done by the end of the year, and we just sat on it some more.
Right.
Right.
Like, literally, like this, we could have put this record out like a year and a half ago.
So have you been getting
pretty exciting?
Have you been able to get together and jam and like work on other songs? I mean, I would think that would be the most frustrating things, is you're kind of either one, working on new songs with a record that you want to be promoting, you know, or you're playing songs that you have, and maybe then, you know, songs tend to evolve as you kind of continue to work on them, but you already kind of have, you know, then you have them, you know, they're already in the can, ready to go. So how does, you know, what were you guys doing as a band throughout that period of time?
We answer that.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, we basically have like a, you know, because what else are we going to do? Like, we're not going to sit there and practice a bunch of like songs for like playing out for anything. So we just like, we didn't get together for probably about a good 4 months or whatever, you know, because during that time, everybody was heavy quarantining. We got together in the summertime, you know, it seemed like everything was going okay. And we were doing like, all right, we're all going to be cool together. And we did that, and just started writing again. Like, I think we actually got like 6 or 7-ish songs or whatever that we basically kind of like put some progress on. And then everything started going nutty here again in fall time. And, you know, we felt like it was best for us all just to kind of like push away from each other during that time. But we started stuff like that, and worked on a bunch of covers and stuff. And some of it's actually like coming to fruition now, which is kind of cool. Okay. And then, like we ended up making some progress on some stuff that'll be like next record work, and like stuff we're like covers and stuff we're going to be playing out sometime.
Okay. Yeah. And there's one cover on this album as well so we're talking to members of the band Work Party, whose new album or debut album is out now. It's titled My Best Days Are Behind Me. It's out now on Triple I Industries. You can find it at workparty.bandcamp.com. But you have a cover of Crawl Home, which is a song that was done by PJ Harvey and Josh Homme as part of the Desert Sessions. How did you guys decide to pick that as a cover?
Oh man.
we have a hell of a time, you know, because I think every band like, hey, we should do a cover or two or whatever. We've had just the worst time agreeing. And I think, did Justin, my brother, bass player, I think, pretty sure he brought it up. And I mean, I love like Josh Homme. I definitely have many man crushes, like lots of dudes. And so Justin presented, I was like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was a no-brainer for me. Grant, I can't remember if you were about it right away or.
I don't think, like, I think I thought it was kind of like weird. Like, I thought about it. I was like, man, it seems kind of strange, like doing like that, a project song, but I don't know. I like the idea of like, it was a PJ Harvey, like vocal song. So I like PJ Harvey a hell of a lot. So I was like, cool, works for me. And I don't know, it was like, I didn't want to play anything that's like, it doesn't sound like Queens of the Stone Age at all, which I think is kind of awesome about it.
No, and it's a really interesting pairing of, you know, between PJ, and it makes a lot of sense. And I you know, I guess I didn't realize it was a cover until I was digging into, you know, the notes on your Bandcamp page, and I had, you know, then I had to look it up, and, you know, it's kind of cool that you guys have a cover that's like a, you know, a Josh Homme, PJ Harvey deep cut. You know, not just something that you would pick off of, you know, like say a Queens of the Stone Age album or a PJ Harvey album that everybody knows.
Yeah.
That's a Justin thing for sure. It's like, oh, what's a cover we can play that nobody knows anything about? Something that'll really, you know, something that'll really stoke the fires of market interest.
Right. We're good like that.
Mm-hmm.
So have you guys discussed being able to play out and start to kind of either hit the road or just get out and start doing some live appearances?
Yeah, we've done 2 shows in the last 2 weeks. Hey, I'll feel you.
Yeah, we're gonna be playing again here pretty soon too. Another
Yeah, but yeah, we played a show in Kenosha. What was that, October 2nd? And we had our record release show in Chicago on just last Thursday. Yeah, we haven't really, we were hoping to like maybe do like a week long, tour of sorts this year, but booking is just brutal right now.
Okay.
I've always kind of been our booking, for War Brides and a work party. And normally I've got pretty good connections, promoters and whatnot throughout the city. And obviously we know plenty of other bands. Man, there is a hell of a bottleneck.
Okay.
Like, or hopping on that show with like, whatever said touring band, like those kind of shows. It just, they're a lot of touring bands aren't even carrying local support. There's a lot of that. I'll hit up a promoter like, hey, if you need local support for XYZ show, and they're like, yeah, no, we're not doing local support for that one. It's like, so there's a lot of that, but I'm assuming that's going to change with time, So as far as I guess a really long, whatever, to try to get to my point here.
It's COVID stuff, man. It's COVID stuff. People are.
I think we'll probably look to do something in the spring more so.
Okay.
Like go out for like a week or week and a half or something like that.
All right. Yeah. And so again, we're chatting with members of the band Work Party. Their new album is titled My Best Days Are Behind Me. You can find it on Triple I Industries, the local label, also at workparty.bandcamp.com. And I assume you guys are up on all the other social media and streaming platforms as well with My Best Days Are Behind Me.
Yeah.
I think streaming, it's pretty much everywhere and anywhere you stream stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Well, thank you for chatting with us here today, guys. We're going to hear a couple more songs off of Work Party's debut album, My Best Days Are Behind Me. Thanks again.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Craig.
For having us.
Absolutely.